Today we are in Valdlauči, which is Ķekava municipality, which is not Riga anymore, so it's on the border of Riga. And there in the background, further out, we can see there's a road towards a small river and like out of town area, so to say. But yeah, I filmed it like 2 weeks ago, perhaps, so there's still like no snow on the streets anymore, and it was like the first real spring day. Very sunny and nice. And yeah, people were outside changing tires to the cars and yeah, to the winter tires for the summer tires. And like it was already spring in the air. And yeah, the thing is that it's the Ķekava municipality, which is like even maybe a bit more wealthy than Riga itself. But this area, they kind of do not take good care of it. They are more about Ķekava town, which is a bit further away out of Riga. This is like directly next to Riga. So in a sense, they should care more about it, I think, because it could attract more businesses. But it's kind of there's some kind of tension between Valdlauči and Ķekava municipality itself because of you know, not much money is invested in this area actually. For although since it's the like very end of Riga and this almost like a suburb of Riga, still this part is still like more vibrant and lively than Riga on the other side of the road, because on this side of the road it's Valdlauči, on the other side of the road it's still Riga municipality. So there's still like the children's playground and the sports field for football and some basketball court and all those like Soviet buildings which look like from Stalin times or something like that. But yeah, in some parts it's like very simple, but with paved roads and good quality of roads. And in other parts though it's more rough. Here in the background you can see the SEB Bank like main building, SEB Bank in Latvia. And here in front in this two-story house there's a family doctor's office and massage and hairdressers. I think there's also some kind of other things there. So yeah, maybe later we will explore it a bit more, what's in there. But yeah, in some parts it looks good. In some parts maybe not so much. Like here, yes, this nice building of the bank here. And if we just go on the right side, there's a IT office, City Co, which employs I think also several hundred people. So yeah, here it is. And it also was built like 10 or 15 years ago. And it's, well, nothing much to write home about, but still, yeah, it's some kind of a bigger office building there. And in this other side, there's Arbor Medical Company, which is involved in the COVID-19 purchases in Latvia, all kinds of stuff. I think it was masks and things like that. So it's involved in all this COVID-19 thing. Yes, but if we go further, then the situation is not as beautiful anymore. There are some kind of garbage bins, and yeah, if you go and see that there's asphalt and then it suddenly just disappears, so it's broken down, and there seems like there could be some construction going on, or I don't know. This part is fenced off. There's a parking lot for the office building, but then there's some kind of like just garbage and some kind of looks like construction area, but I was not sure if there's really some construction going on or is it just some kind of abandoned site or something like that. But yeah, there's some kind of trash containers and Soviet looking stuff from like decades old things. So yeah, I went back just to see what else is there. But it's sad to say that this area is rather undeveloped. Here's some kind of an old Soviet car and a lot of like half-abandoned buildings of the Soviet period. And then if we continue on this path further out, there I think it's also some kind of construction zone further away. Although it was kind of funny to see that there's some kind of lighting installed, like these lamps or something like that along this path. But it was not sure what's happening here because there's just some empty field. And further away it looks like some kind of third world site, or I don't know. I think there was some attempt to build a walkway here, but nothing is finished and it's all fenced up and it's some kind of a construction equipment and these containers lying around. So it's not sure what's happening there. But this area is really like something out of Borat or worst East European site with all the trash and the Soviet wall with a hole in it. So it's really kind of rather interesting. Not really shocking, but because the suburbs, like the parts where Riga ends, can be rough, and even parts of Riga can be rough too, of course. But this is not really one pleasant area, and the kind of Riga that you would see, and the kind of Riga that tour guides would show you. It's not like that. And what we have here, here's also some kind of construction, which is, I don't know if it's really happening because this stays up here for some time, for years, I think now. There's some kind of a sports field too that they wanted to build there. So I also don't know what happens with that. But this building, this large building, is Bior. It's Latvia's Environment and Biological Protection Research Center, something like that. And it's just for environmental protection and food safety, something like food safety in USA or things like that, or food farms and nature protection. But what thing is also is interesting about this building is that they do COVID-19 testing here too. So in the background you can see these blue booths. It's one of those places in Latvia where you can get tested for COVID-19, and I think it's the cheapest one maybe. So it's a rather large complex here with some older buildings from Soviet times which are renovated, and this new building in front which was just completed a year ago or something like that. So even in this place, like which looks half abandoned with all this Soviet fence and stuff, there's some kind of like civilization in this area where this main Bior building is located. But on the other side, as you can see, just some kind of old cars or a repair shop, or I don't know what it even is. Some kind of, again, it's nothing that pretty actually to look at. So yes, here they do the COVID tests in these blue booths, and here's all the complex of the Bior that we can see. And at least here we have sidewalk and some kind of concrete blocks. It's kind of old tires. Yeah, just it's hard to understand why there's some kind of a like civilization, and right next to it is some kind of abandoned place, abandoned car tires and old rusty fences and things like that, and some Soviet hangar and also some decently looking private houses too. And that's sometimes you can see that in Riga, that this kind of interesting contrast between something that looks neat and tidy and right next to that some kind of trash. Like here, some kind of renovated Soviet building, or maybe it's from 90s and some kind of old hangars. And here's already the Southern Bridge, and in the background there's the milk factory, or where they make various milk products. And yes, here we can see the Bauska Street and then the Tilts or Southern Bridge right ahead. So it's not really a bad location. It's a riverside just next to a river, so there are some private houses, but I don't know why Ķekava municipality really does not invest more in Valdlauči, because it's the prime location. It's right next to the river, and there could be a nice development right here. It's just empty spot, empty grass and nothing more. And there's the river in the background, and there could be some nice development here, like the prime location next to the river, and probably good access to the bridge. And if you use the bridge, you can very easily in 10 minutes get to the Riga city center, even though it's kind of far away. But yeah, it's easy access to the center. So I don't really understand why this all plot is not being developed, because currently there's nothing here. It's just the bridge and the road, and on the other side, on the like main Riga side in Ķekava, you can see there's some Soviet high-rises, some newer buildings, and a nice promenade just to walk along the river, and some beach in front of the river. But on this side there's nothing, so it's kind of shame, because I also live in this part of the river, and it's really sad that there's nothing much where you can go and yeah, to be on the water and to walk around here in this area. Hopefully maybe it can change in future and there will be something developed here, but currently as it is, it's not really, yeah, like that. And I wonder when it will be, when there will be some development here, because I think it's badly needed, because all this area is kind of half run down. And here you actually see in the background, in this milk factory, they make the Karum's cottage cheese, these snacks, or I don't know how you can, sweet snacks from cottage cheese. I don't know how it's called in English, but yeah, the Baltic viewers probably know these Karum's things. Just a fact for you to know. And yeah, that's a factory from Soviet times which has been modernized, but yeah. And yeah, one Riga bus stop, one of those shitty ones in the outskirts of the city where there's no place to sit actually even, or some kind of a shelter, just one bus stop and people are just waiting there for the bus. So that's also sadly a case in many places in Riga, in especially outside of the city center. And if we go back in this, yeah, road that has seen a lot of repairs in its life, and this abandoned Soviet-like factory area or fence here with the hole in it. So then it's like we again go through this portal into the strange world of trash and unfinished construction and all kind of shit that's lying here. And yeah, it's sad for me. I would like to see this area be developed even like further out to the river, so there could be some promenade. Maybe you could go to the river and there'll be some interesting things here, some office buildings, some residential buildings in area. But currently there's just this old pathway and some kind of trash lying around, and who knows if there's some construction, if there has been some construction in the past or not. I'm not sure, but it's, yeah, kind of depressing to see all this like torn up asphalt, and yeah, the bank building in the background there, but right next to it is just some half abandoned Soviet warehouses. And you could probably do some nice stuff with that area. But now we are back to the family doctor's office here on this side. Just kind of small area entrance from the side, and there's the building that we saw before, like with the hairdressers and the massage. And if we look closer, there's a senior center there and art studio for grown-ups, for adults, yeah, to learn how to paint. And there's some kind of a leech therapy there, therapy with leeches, some kind of a medical procedure. So yeah, if you're into that, you can go there, I guess. And this is the doctor's office, which is, at least it's accessible for people with disabilities. There's some kind of a small bench that you can sit. Other than that, yeah, there are some businesses in these buildings, like some kind of a leather repair shop or something like that. And not much else, I guess. A few smaller shops. But it's really kind of sad that I think that this area could use more development, and it definitely, I think, would also really attract development, because it's still in Riga. It's almost like, although it is not technically in the city borders, it's still part of the Riga area, so it's close to the bridge, and from the bridge to the center, so there could be more development. But sadly, there's some kind of a disagreement between Ķekava municipality, and they do not really want to invest much in Valdlauči and to develop this area. So then we have this kind of situation that the municipality does not want to develop this part of the area, sadly. So that's it for now.